Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our morning dose of Big Brother 23 live feed spoilers. We are now in day 6. We are actually at the point where it takes me a minute to remember what day it is in the game.
Yep, we're getting going, guys.
Okay, can we all just take a nap in the house for a little? What is going on with these people?
You can see yourself out. Nobody wants to take a nap. Full steam ahead.
Full steam. These people. It was supposed to be a quiet past 24 hours. There was no need for any. No. Okay, bros, there was no need for any of this. I'm just saying.
No, there's been a lot going on.
It feels like a lot. This is the thing. It feels like a lot of nothing. It feels like when you go to, I don't know, some like really like cheesy buffet that's not even that good, but they have like some mediocre macaroni and cheese, and so you get like a giant bowl of it and it's just like empty calories.
I disagree.
Okay.
I think that there's been a lot of just thinking out of scenarios, which is something that I enjoy the most in this game. And while it may seem like mediocre macaroni and cheese to some, I like these discussions where it's kind of like, oh, you know, if we do this, this, and this happens. If we do this, this, and this happens. Or this, and this happens. I really like that.
All right, well, we will talk all about the build-up to the veto ceremony, which I'm sure will be happening today, but Why not hit that subscribe button? You know, we're here throughout all of Big Brother 23, multiple times a day, giving you the dose of everything that's going on these bonkers feeds.
Yeah, it's been crazy. We also have Bachelorette coming up tonight. If you're watching that, we have them reviews up every Monday, and then we reviewed Animal Kingdom yesterday, so that's up as well. Also, be sure to follow us over on Instagram, Matt and Jess TV. And thank you for everyone who has gone over to Instagram and given us a follow and checked out some of our Coco pictures.
This is what is hilarious to me about everything going on in Big Brother 23 right now, is that with the veto ceremony coming up, I'm not sure that anything has actually changed in the past 24 hours. Like, I feel like we're still going the same direction that we were.
Yes, it seems that Derek X has won the veto. It seems that he still wants to take Kylan off the block, and he still is hoping that Travis is going to go up. Or he's not hoping, but Frenchie wants to put up Travis.
That makes the most sense in a lot of fundamental ways. Travis doesn't have that many connections. He's somebody who I think, I feel like he's someone who this is going to sound mean, but it's like, who's going to miss Travis that much in the game? And I'm not saying he's some horrendous person or whatever, but he just doesn't have like that many connections.
Derek X, he will miss Travis in the game. So he had a conversation with Frenchie where he was kind of like, yeah, I want to use the veto, but maybe you want to put up Hannah instead of maybe Travis, kind of thing. So he is trying to find a way to save both Kylan and Travis.
Okay, if Frenchie put up Hannah as a replacement nominee alongside Alyssa, can you imagine the BB Twitter World War III scenario that will be invoked there with Mr. I am not nominating a woman on my HOH?
It's already too late. He's already burned that bridge. He's on his way to burning many more bridges. It's that ship has sailed.
It really
is sinking.
Frenchie, everything about Frenchie right now is just like a big, giant Frenchie. Just because him talking on end with Derek X about all of this and not really getting all that much of anywhere. And then also Frenchie, this is the funniest part, Frenchie thinking that because he's been on Big Brother Twitter, that Frenchie knows what all of America is going to want and care about, and him telling Derek X that America, they're gonna love it if you use the veto on Alyssa. That's gonna make them so happy. It's like, Frenchie, you know what would make America happy if you're not HOH anymore?
Yeah, I think what makes America happy is people that want to play the game and that they're playing the game for themselves. And I understand Frenchie's feeling that he's been part of Big Brother Twitter.
Yeah.
And of course, we all have our thoughts on how we'd like to see the game being played. But you, like I said, you already burned that bridge. You said that you weren't going to put up any women. You did. You weren't going to put up anyone who's a person of color. You did. Here we are. You got to go in there with a game plan, but you have to be adaptable to what is going on. I mean, the show did a remarkable job yesterday with so much that happened, actually breaking down and showing that Frenchie made a deal with everyone, that he promised everyone safety, that he did end up in this position where he had no one left to nominate.
I do give them a lot of credit for just showing fundamentally how terrible.
I just didn't know how they were going to show that because there was so much that had happened. But they did a pretty good job of it, which has left people like Kylan being really upset that Frenchie told him 100% he was not going up and now he's on the block. And the same sort of thing with Alyssa. Told her she was not going on the block. We saw on the show last night, she's on the block.
Yeah.
Just because she was talking to Christian in the kitchen and he put his arm on her shoulder. Now all of a sudden it's a problem.
That's right. In Frenchie's world,
on.
things don't make any sense. In Frenchie's world, Kylan just even having a conversation with Frenchie about whether or not he was 100%. Like, this is a major affront to society. It's like, Frenchie, I will say this. This is where I will give Frenchie a tiny bit of credit. He has at least given us content, and no one can take that away from Frenchie.
Yeah, because Frenchie has also told Derek X that Kylan is dangerous because all the women love him. And now, he's not wrong. I mean...
No, he's not. He's not. People do love Kylan.
Kylan is great. He's handsome, he's genuine, he's charming, he has charisma. But just the same, let's talk this out.
Yeah.
If Kylan stays on the block...
Yeah.
Kylan is not going home.
Yeah.
He's just not. Up against Alyssa. Alyssa hasn't done enough to make enough connections and enough alliances. And Kylan is part of the Cookout Alliance. So he's already got like 5 or 6 votes over there. I mean, Derek X is going to vote for him to keep him. I mean, he's not going home. If he's up against Travis, the same thing. Kylan has the votes to stay. It's just... Frenchie's not really looking forward on this. And I know he doesn't know about the cookout, but if that's the thing, and his logic is everybody loves him, then he's not going home. If you're going to put him up against someone like Alyssa, who hasn't made enough connections, or Travis, who has not made enough connections.
Yeah, Frenchie needs to just let that idea of Kylan potentially being evicted just fly out the window.
No, it is not time.
No, it's a funny thing where I would understand if I'm Derek X, wanting to use the veto on Kylan. You made this promise to him before the Power of Veto competition. You don't want to walk back on it, even though the irony in all of this is, and you sort of just suggested this, is that if Derek X just left the nominations the same and did nothing, maybe you run the risk of Kylan being a little bit upset, but you would get to keep both Kylan and Travis around. You'd get to continue to have your bros, and you would get Alyssa out of the game.
Yes, they have sort of circled it a tiny bit, this conversation, but it's not enough to really get Derek to not use the veto and take that chance. And it is a big risk, but this is big risk, big reward, right? They want to keep Travis in the game. They want to keep Kylan in the game. Kylan has the votes to stay. And unless Alyssa comes out in the next few days and all of a sudden is really working the room, which is kind of a little too late. We are, many days in now. She should have been doing this from the beginning. It's just too late. Kylan will end up staying, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like 99.9999% that Kylan stays over Alyssa in this hypothetical dream world that is probably not going to happen, but...
Okay, so if Travis goes up, then it does become a little more interesting because both of them have not done a great job being social and building alliances.
Yeah, and... if the eviction was happening today, like right now, I would say, all right, Travis is probably being evicted, Alyssa's probably staying in the game. But this is today. We have seen the most bonkers, insane Big Brother week where everyone is getting very close to, well, not everyone, but a lot of people are getting very clown car-ish territory right now. Anything could happen between now and Thursday.
Yeah, and I feel like there's, all the bros where, for just calling them meatheads, I don't really like that term that much. I mean, they're not dumb guys. I mean, bros, you're still like a little more muscly, but you're still smart. I don't know, whatever. That's my own thing. Anyways, I feel like they realize this week, especially with Frenchie, that they are really going to be targeted. And if they do not come together to work together, that they're really going to be in trouble. So if Travis is up against Alyssa, I can see a real push from them. And they have people like Brent, who is not my favorite player. He's become really sort of condescending to people and talking down to people, but he's also been very charismatic when he needs to be, and he's been able to, we saw, work over Frenchie in a very short period of time. So if he needs to turn on the charm, he has been able to do so.
I will say, though, that one of my favorite running subplots in this season now is Derek X's disdain for Brent after Brent was that condescending towards him. We talked about that little monologue he gave to the camera, and even just now, Derek X is like throwing Brent under the bus in conversations to Kylan.
Good for you, Derek X. You do that.
Yes. No one is upset about this. It's just being like, Brent is saying, Kylan, that that you're lying to him, and Derek X is planting seeds, and I love it that the bros this season are so messy, and it's like they kind of can come together, but they probably won't because they're so petty.
Yeah, they do need to come together, but it is not working out that way, which has made this season a little more interesting.
Yeah, even so, we are 2 episodes into the season right now, and it felt like last night they wanted to sort of give us a really generous portion of Frenchie. They gave us the giant mac and cheese bowl of Frenchie.
Oh, not mediocre?
Okay, no,
you think is going on right now?
Okay, so this is the thing, though. This buffet, they have a lot of other good stuff, I hear. I hear they have some really good slow-cooked chicken. They've got some really great roasted vegetables. They have all this other stuff.
What?
But they're not giving it to us, though. So we don't know where a lot of these guys' heads are at because they're just giving us all the Frenchie.
I'm just going to say right away that chicken is awful.
What?
Nobody wants to go to a buffet and eat broccoli. Listen, we're all going to the buffet to have mac and cheese and day-old pizza that we think looks good but probably isn't.
It's not.
And to go to the Jell-O bar.
The Jell-O bar is delicious. I'm not going to argue over the Jell-O bar, but this is what makes this season so weird and fun and confusing. Is just that, I can't sit here in my heart of hearts and tell all of you exactly where Kylan's head is at. I cannot sit here and tell you, oh, this is what Christian feels. Oh, this is where Travis is at, just because the nature of 800 Slaughterhouse alliances makes it so that it's really hard to say who's telling the truth to who.
Yeah, it is very difficult to know where a lot of people land in this. It seems like the only real, true alliance that seems to be sticking together right now is the Cookout.
Yeah, that's the only one I legitimately believe. But there's one other conversation that a part of me wants to just scream in terror just thinking about it, but it is the idea of Kylan sort of suggesting to Alyssa, if she stays on the block, she'll stay over Travis 100%, and Kylan, you don't fall. I understand that you're probably good, but don't volunteer to stay on the block.
I know.
It would just be if I was playing Big Brother, which once again, never do, not happening. If I saw someone volunteer to go on the block, I would evict them so fast because I would just be like, oh, you think you're that good at the game, huh? You're going to be that cocky in here and just goodbye.
I know. I think it's just he's It's a tough situation because he is showing a lot of his cards, but at the same time, he's trying to find a way, I guess, to make a connection with Alyssa, that if Alyssa is taken off the block and Travis is up, that he would stay. Okay, that's cool. That means then, going forward, then, that maybe Alyssa owes Kylan a little bit, and it kind of makes a connection for Alyssa because Alyssa doesn't really have anybody except her team.
I'm about to do another buffet analogy. This is the last one I have.
Is it going to be better than having some vegetables and some chicken?
Hey, maybe some vegetables are good. Let's just say that Kylan is the
person... Who goes to buffet have vegetables? Get out of here.
It's the vegetable buffet. I don't know, but okay. Kylan
that sounds like your nightmare.
It really is. Kylan's that player who... He's going to the buffet, and he doesn't want to commit to any one thing fully, so he's like, yeah, I'll have some of this, I'll have a little bit of that, I'll have a little... He's like, he's getting a little bit of every one of these meals, but at the same time, in doing all this, maybe he's not making the chef who made any one of the meals feel altogether special enough. Like, he feels like he's really, really trying to, like, stretch himself here.
I guess so. I mean, he is part of an alliance that he's pretty close to. I think it's hard at the beginning because there is so many people and you don't want to alienate anyone. If somebody is coming to you and wanting to work with you, you can't just be like, nah, I'm good, thanks, take it somewhere else, because then you're immediately a target. And finding a way to get people to feel like they owe you is really important in this game. So having that conversation with Alyssa, I think, done in the right way, can work in his advantage, because it would make Alyssa feel like, okay, yeah, if there's a way to get Derek X to use it on her, take her off the block, now she owes Derek X, she owes Kylan for being like, yeah, I'm happy to stay on the block, I can take care of Travis, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
Works well, it gets you far in this game.
I'm so excited for the Veto Ceremony later. Just because, I mean, I feel like we know probably what's going to happen, but it's just like, Frenchie will no longer have any power.
Yeah.
I really want to see what this looks like. I hope it lives up to the expectations here.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Veto Ceremony, because after that, this is where we get to see the conversations with other people in the house.
We will be back to discuss a little bit of that later, but for now, if you're going to the buffet, where are you going with it? Give us your...
You want some stale chicken and some old vegetables, or you want to go to the Jello bar? Jello bar.
Jello bar.
No,
I like the Jello bar.
You're over on the chicken bar.
Okay, the chicken bar. Okay, well, give us your expectations for the rest of this week. Hit that subscribe button. Check out a review of Animal Kingdom. Thank you guys so much. We're going to hit the buffet. We'll see you here next time.